talk to you? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really love my job? Because if you have, let me let you in on something. You're not the only one. Here are a few signs that you might not love your job. You dread going to work. You complain about the pay. The excitement for the job is left, and you find yourself sitting at brunch on Sunday with your mimosa, tapping your feet singing the Monday blues. Boom! It may be time for you to move on to something else, whether it be starting a business, finding a rich husband, or finding another job. Whatever it may be, make sure you're making yourself happy and getting those bills paid. And keep rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice and tips. See y'all later.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Today we're going to talk about the importance of establishing an emergency fund. Now look, I know and I understand that sometimes there's just too much month and not enough money and we can't really establish an emergency fund, but statistically, 8 out of 10 adults do not have enough money to cover a $500 emergency saved up in a savings account. Now, how do we establish an emergency fund? First, we have to understand what our purpose is and why we're establishing this fund. Why should we establish an emergency fund? Because God forbid, if I have a $900 emergency come up, I don't want to have to go to the bank to take out a $900 loan. I don't want to have to go swipe a credit card for another $900 to put myself further in debt. I need to have an emergency fund established of 3 months to 6 months, okay? That will, if I lose my job, if something comes up, I have at least 3 months to 6 months of income. Ideally, if we could get 9 to 12 months saved up in an emergency fund, then you know come hell or high water that financially you will be okay if something comes up. Now, the purpose of it is that when an emergency comes up, my fund is already established. Guess what? It's no longer an emergency. We've already planned for this. And when we plan for things, we can execute the plan. We don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So understanding that, putting together a plan, having a fully funded emergency fund, and if you're just starting out, start with $1,000 and then build on it from there. So, this is Marcus Whitfield, and remember, knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is power.
What got me is like there and was like, it's a rat in here. It's you. The acting. But you know what? I know people like that in real life.
What's the word with K Hicks?
We've got trivia, special guests, and whiskey.
Pour a glass of whatever you're drinking and buckle up.
What's the word?
What's the word with K Hicks? Watch live on YouTube, Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
It's a strong indication that your partner has issues with commitment, period.
When you've got questions, she's got the answers.
We do have a caller.
But what she says might not be what you want to hear.
The solution to that is Gullah Jack. Gullah Jack tells you plain and simply to just nut the up.
Queenie Unfiltered. Watch live on YouTube and you could be invited on the show. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can I talk to you? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really love my job? Because if you have, let me let you in on something. You're not the only one. Here are a few signs that you might not love your job. You dread going to work. You complain about the pay. The excitement for the job is left, and you find yourself sitting at brunch on Sunday with your mimosa, tapping your feet singing the Monday blues. Boom! It may be time for you to move on to something else, whether it be starting a business, finding a rich husband, or finding another job. Whatever it may be, make sure you're making yourself happy and getting those bills paid. And keep rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice and tips. Right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Today we're going to talk about the importance of establishing an emergency fund. Now look, I know and I understand that sometimes there's just too much month and not enough money and we can't really establish an emergency fund, but statistically, 8 out of 10 adults do not have enough money to cover a $500 emergency saved up in a savings account. Now, how do we establish an emergency fund? First, we have to understand what our purpose is and why we're establishing this fund. Why should we establish an emergency fund? Because God forbid, if I have a $900 emergency come up, I don't want to have to go to the bank to take out a $900 loan. I don't want to have to go swipe a credit card for another $900 to put myself further in debt. I need to have an emergency fund established of 3 months to 6 months, okay? That will, if I lose my job, if something comes up, I have at least 3 months to 6 months of income. Ideally, if we could get 9 to 12 months saved up in an emergency fund, then you know come hell or high water that financially you will be okay if something establishes, if something comes up. Now, the purpose of it is that when an emergency comes up, my fund is already established. Guess what? It's no longer an emergency. We've already planned for this. And when we plan for things, we can execute the plan. We don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So understanding that, putting together a plan, having a fully funded emergency fund, and if you're just starting out, start with $1,000 and then build on it from there. So, this is Marcus Whitfield, and remember, knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is power.
Hello.
Hi, beauties and babes. It's Wind Down Wednesday, and we have a special episode for you today. I'm your host, Bonnie Noel. And if you are new here, the show is basically we do rundowns of tutorials just to give you a little breakdown and insight so you can get a closer look at how to do a certain type of skill. So today we have a special skincare episode. We have Cassandra from Sarai Naturals. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So yes, today we're going to be getting into all things skincare. As we know, summer is approaching. A lot of people like to just wear less, and not just with clothing. That also goes for foundation and makeup. And we just like to let our skin breathe because sometimes it's just too hot. So just a little lip gloss and lashes will definitely get you through. So yeah, we have Cassandra here to help us get right through all of that. So yeah, whenever you're ready, you can let everybody, before we jump right in, definitely let people know who you are, what else you have going on, and where you're from.
Okay, so like she said, I'm Cassandra. I've had Sarai Naturals running for, I want to say 4 years now. Other than that, I also have a podcast. It's called Pussy Talk. It airs every Friday around, I think 7 p.m. One of those. I also do nails. It's called Icy Nails. So you can hit me up on my social media handles for any of those services. And I'm from Connecticut, but I currently live in Springfield, Mass.
Okay, awesome.
So today I just have like a couple points to remember when doing your skincare routine, because I know so many questions. Everybody's always like, do I do this? Do I do that? And then some people always are changing it. Like, I thought I wasn't supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. But these are pretty basic. Like, you follow it with no matter what type of skincare routine you have. So my first thing, I try to tell people like skincare is a commitment. So you're not going to put products on and then see results in tomorrow or not even the next week. So like, it's kind of surprising, but it kind of takes about 3 to 4 months to actually even see results of a successful skincare routine. So I try to let people know whenever you're trying something new, don't give up. Like, you're going to have to do it for a couple months before you even see like the glow that everyone's always raving about. So, and an important thing to remember too is when you're starting a new skincare routine, your skin starts to purge. So what that means is that some people mistake it as a breakout when you use a new product, but what's really happening is like your skin is expelling all the toxins from other products you've used. So, and it's regenerating new cells. So that's a good thing. That means it's working. So just keep going, push through, because I get those. And at first I was like, nothing works. But then I realized, just work through it, girl or boy, whoever. Because guys care about their skin too. We know that.
Absolutely, as they should, for sure.
Yeah. I have a guy's line too, so check it out. There's beard oil and things like that.
Awesome.
The next one is it's important to know what type of skincare type you have. So you can have dry skin, normal, sensitive, combination, or oily. So I have 2 serums that cater to different skincare types. So that's why it's important to know which one would work best for you, because you don't want to use an oily product if your skin is sensitive, because it'll cause reverse reactions. So one serum is the lavender one. That's more for the oily combination, normal type. And then I have a chamomile one that's more for the sensitive and dry skin types. So using the appropriate products for your skin type is super, super important. The same way like shampoo, and the same way you got to use the right lash glue for the right lashes and all that,
Okay.
It's very...
A word.
It's very important. You gotta pay attention. Make sure your hands are clean when you're about to do your skincare routine. So wash your hands first. I'm like super OCD about that. I wash my hands and then I'm like, wait, I wash my hands, but in touching the bottom, aren't there germs? But you don't gotta be that crazy. But so wash your hands, dip your finger like into your product, and if it's a dropper, just drop it like above your skin so it doesn't touch too many surfaces. Make sure you're keeping your little beauty corner clean, and make sure you change your pillowcases. We be forgetting about that because we be laying down. And don't fall asleep with makeup. I know the beat is crazy, but don't do it. I be wanting to save it, like prop my neck up on like an airplane pillow and like save the face. But don't do it.
Yeah, no. No recycling the bead. No, do not recycle the bead.
Don't do it. Just wash it off and paste this again to do that work again. All right, it's okay. And then my last step is something that everybody hates hearing. Drink some water, girl. Drink the water. Drink it.
Drink it.
Your skin hydrated, keeps it plump, keeps it elastic, which means fewer wrinkles, fewer blemishes. And I'm not trying to get no Botox in my face. I'm too scared of needles and stuff. So I'll take that water. Give me the water. Give me the water every time. So it also gets rid of toxins, and it helps prevent like excessive oil production, which is why we normally get like acne and breakouts and things like that. So those are my most important keys when I'm doing my skincare. And girl, my skin's kind of good right now, so that's why I wanted to share with y'all, because
you going over there.
We ain't sisters if we ain't sharing. So I'm sharing with y'all.
Amen. Okay? For sure. That's what we do here. We love to just share to help a sister out or a brother, you know what I mean? Because we all know like some tips that not everybody knows, so it's definitely important to share.
Right. Especially because I know a lot of people, we do things that we don't even think about. Like if it's a moisturizer and it's like, in a jar, you put your fingers in it. Stop doing that. We do things we don't even think about. And now you keep putting your old fingers in your like moisturizer and you keep putting it on your face. You never think about stuff like that. So I think it's super important. Skincare. If you got good skin, then your makeup is gonna look crazy good, right? Ain't nobody trying to put makeup on like a valley looking crazy. I don't like that.
I don't like that. No one likes that. We don't want that for ourselves. We don't want that for our sisters. We just don't want it.
Some makeup job and I'm just like, I want to say like, hey sis, like use this before, like for a little while before you get, but I try to, I have to find a way like without people feeling offended, like it's like saying you want to give someone a product that is going to approve, but it's kind of like, so what, girl, you think my skin's bad? Like, oh, I just wanted to help.
Yeah, like maybe something like, oh my gosh, this works so well for me. I think it would work so well for you too. Like you must try it. Here it is. Take it. Use it. I
gotta do like a little mind hypnosis.
Like,
girl, for me, try it out. You never know.
True. I was gonna tell me, like, girl, what's them pores? I could close them.
Right. Right. Because I'm like, damn, those are some big ass pores.
Right.
But
let me know, like,
shift it together.
Yeah, I wish somebody would let me know, like, whatever it is, let me know. Okay. We love a good constructive criticism over here. It helps us to be better.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
For sure, that is too funny. But yeah. Would you say that's it in terms of your tips?
Yes, that is it.
I had a question.
Yes.
Or not even a question, a comment, like about the whole skin purging thing. I've experienced that. And it's so interesting that I stuck it out because I like went back, tried to return my products, and they're like, and I'm like, I'm breaking out, and they're like, no, like your skin's probably just purging, like, give it a chance. And when I did, like, I experienced some of the like best skincare of my life, and it's so crazy because even when I had posted recently and asked somebody like, oh, have you tried like this product? And a lot of people are like, it broke me out. And I'm like, did you like push through it? Because it was probably doing what it was supposed to do. And once you unlock that second layer of like post-purge, like for real, that's where all the magic happens. Like, so I would recommend to anyone who's, said they tried a product and they purged. Matter of fact, don't even try that product. Just go on ahead and buy Soraya Naturals. Okay. She said what she said in regard to, if that happens with her products, you know what I mean? For sure, stick it through. And you will see some like great results for sure. Like you gotta be patient, like you said with skincare. Like it definitely takes months. It's commitment, but it's worth it.
Right. There's a way you can tell between like purging and a breakout is like if a purge lasts way, like it's shorter than the amount of time for a breakout. You know, a breakout you have it on your face for like a couple days, maybe a week. So it'll be shorter than that. And breakouts are usually like red and inflamed. So like purging kind of just looks like the little bumps on your face, you know. But they're not really like, they don't really irritate you, and they're not really reddened or inflamed or anything like that. So that's how you know like the difference. So they basically just like little like look like little raised bumps. So once you stick it out, but like you said, it's literally a new layer of skin. Like that's literally what's going to happen if you stick through it. So it's literally getting rid of all the dead skin cells and it's creating new, fresh ones. So you have to stick it out. Because trust me, it happened to me too with my own products. But I stuck it out, and that's really it's really all I use.
That's awesome. Yeah, for like when it happened to me, like it was something I had never seen before. Like it's like I've broken out, but it was just like it was different. Like it was exactly what you said it was, like the little raised bumps, and I was like,
yeah,
what is this? What's happening? But once you know, and you can just maximize from there. So that's awesome.
Yes, it's kind of like another, it's like another little job, but it pays off because everybody wants to look good. You just got to stay committed. And no matter how much of a hot girl night you had, do your skincare routine at the end of the night. You will be happy in the morning. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely don't fall asleep a couple times, but
Yeah, sometimes the hot girl summer gets hot and there's no time.
Yes.
But if you can stand it, definitely worth washing it off. That is so funny. I know everyone can relate. People don't like to admit that they've been there, but I've been there.
I don't like to backtrack with my skin. So
yeah, because once you get so good, and that's really how it feels. Once you get started and you like have one of those nights, you're like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Right. Then you feel like the next day you feel like all like your pores all over your face and all dry. It's like, damn, I did just miss one night, one time. And it's like all your hard work is gone. That's how I feel.
No, I agree. It feels like that because, like you said, it's like a resetting. Like, you know what I mean? You want to start back from scratch after we've come so far.
Right.
So I know you mentioned that the serums there's specific ones for specific skin types. I just wanted to run that back real quick, just asking for myself.
Yes.
So I'm more of an oily skin type. Which serum would you recommend?
So for oily, I would do the lavender one. It has jojoba oil in it, marula oil, and also tea tree oil. The tea tree oil is super important because that helps the oily skin get all the dirt from your pores. So once that pulls the dirt out, that's mostly why, like, why oily skin has a lot more pores than any other skin type, because we're just like hoarding it in our face. Because I'm oily too. So I would say I'm combination, which works for that.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my products are also all natural, so there's no chemicals in it either. They're vegan friendly. So if you are suffering from oily skin, then I would say the lavender one, because like I said, it cleans out the dirt, it helps inflammation. And as we know, lavender is used for like a whole mess of things. Helps you sleep at night, reduces stress. So I like to also point out those extra benefits too. It's like relaxing, like, because there's also lavender beads in my product as well.
Right.
Which is nice.
Awesome. So, yeah, I want to thank you so much for joining us. As I always say, time flies when you're having fun, but I definitely learned a lot. I just have one more question. Once again, ask for myself. I'm sorry, but so when it comes to skincare, I've Googled and I've seen many different things. What step are you putting your serum? Are you putting your serum on before or after your moisturizer?
Before. So I would say cleanser. That would be the black soap, the cold cleanser that I showed you of mine. Then you do your toner. So even after you cleanse, you have to do the toner because it's still kind of like still a little bit of dirt left. So it's kind of like a second step of cleansing. Then you do your serum, which is usually oil based, and then your moisturizer.
Okay, awesome.
So the moisturizer will lock your serum in, and you're good to go.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys heard it. If you want that summer glow or that all year round glow, because you should be doing your skincare routine no matter what season it is. Definitely for the men too, for sure. Like she said, she has the new beard oil coming out, so you guys can look out for that. That's awesome. So if you want to tell people where they can find you, Just one more time where they can find you and your products.
Yes, you can find my products on Instagram. It's Sarai_naturals. Sarai is Sarai. And my website is Sarai by Cassandra Skincare. Cassandra's with a C and one S.
Awesome.
And stop with me, guys.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for joining us. And thank you all for watching. I know we didn't have much time to talk about questions, but hopefully I answered or asked some of your questions and Cassandra answered most of them. But yeah, thank you again. Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll be back again next week for Wind Down Wednesday.
Thank you.
Can I talk to you? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really love my job? Because if you have, let me let you in on something. You're not the only one. Here are a few signs that you might not love your job. You dread going to work. You complain about the pay. The excitement for the job is left, and you find yourself sitting at brunch on Sunday with your mimosa, tapping your feet singing the Monday blues. Boom! It may be time for you to move on to something else, whether it be starting a business, finding a rich husband, or finding another job. Whatever it may be, make sure you're making yourself happy and getting those bills paid. And keep rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice and tips. See y'all later.
1, 2, 3, go!
Today we're going to talk about the importance of establishing an emergency fund. Now look, I know and I understand that sometimes there's just too much month and not enough money and we can't really establish an emergency fund, but statistically, 8 out of 10 adults do not have enough money to cover a $500 emergency saved up in a savings account. Now, how do we establish an emergency fund? First, we have to understand what our purpose is and why we're establishing this fund. Why should we establish an emergency fund? Because God forbid, if I have a $900 emergency come up, I don't want to have to go to the bank to take out a $900 loan. I don't want to have to go swipe a credit card for another $900 to put myself further in debt. I need to have an emergency fund established of 3 months to 6 months, okay? That will, if I lose my job, if something comes up, I have at least 3 months to 6 months of income. Ideally, if we could get 9 to 12 months saved up in an emergency fund, then you know come hell or high water that financially you will be okay if something establishes, if something comes up. Now, the purpose of it is that when an emergency comes up, my fund is already established. Guess what? It's no longer an emergency. We've already planned for this. And when we plan for things, we can execute the plan. We don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So understanding that, putting together a plan, having a fully funded emergency fund, and if you're just starting out, start with $1,000 and then build on it from there. So, this is Marcus Whitfield, and remember, knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is power.
What got me is like there and was like, "It's a rat in here. It's you." The accent, but you know what? I know people like that in real life.
What's the word with K Hicks?
We've got trivia, special guests, and whiskey.
Pour a glass of whatever you're drinking and buckle up.
What's the word?
What's the word with K Hicks? Watch live on YouTube, Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
it's a strong indication that your partner has issues with commitment, period.
When you've got questions, she's got the answers.
We do have a caller.
But what she says might not be what you want to hear.
The solution to that is Gullah Jack. Gullah Jack tells you plain and simply to just nut the up.
Queenie Unfiltered. Watch live on YouTube, and you could be invited on the show. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can I talk to you? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really love my job? Because if you have, let me let you in on something. You're not the only one. Here are a few signs that you might not love your job. You dread going to work. You complain about the pay. The excitement for the job is left, and you find yourself sitting at brunch on Sunday with your mimosa, tapping your feet singing the Monday blues. Boom! It may be time for you to move on to something else, whether it be starting a business, finding a rich husband, or finding another job. Whatever it may be, make sure you're making yourself happy and getting those bills paid. And keep rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice and tips.
welcome to What's the Word, episode 9. I have just got my show taken over by my boy Kev T. who is with me. As you can see, he's tapping in. He's more official than me with that green screen over there. He played the part. Okay, you got the pajama top on. I ain't even got my pajama top on tonight. You trying to take pajama top king while I'm, you know what I'm saying? Because I said I was pajama top queen. So you try to pull up with the nicer pajama top. What's that, Versace?
You know, I only just try to show up appropriately. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to be on the wind down, I figured, you know, I might bring out something that kind of like pajamas since we getting ready to wind down for the evening. So, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to show up appropriately, you know what I'm saying, for tonight's festivity.
You know, we appreciate it. We love it here. What's the word? So today we're going to give them a word on creative careers. But before we jump into the creative careers and all that entails, I want us to get into some bizarre news. So for the bizarre news this week, I decided to tap into just like, what are some creative careers and what do people make? And I'm just like, okay, you know, they have the regular art therapists. They make like $50 an hour, like just healing kids doing art in a room, like. And you know, but then the ones that popped out to me were a flavorist. Do you know what a flavorist is?
What a flavorist?
If
I could guess, I mean, do they maybe like make the flavors on something? They taste.
No, they make flavors. They literally create natural and artificial flavors. You have to have extensive knowledge of essential oils, botanical extracts, flavor, aromas, and essences.
Okay.
So you gotta learn some shit to be a flavorist.
Say, like, do you need to like go to school for that? Like, you need a degree?
Yeah.
Or should I could just go take like, you know, a YouTube online oils course or something? Like, how do I get into that field?
You know, I don't know, but you know what, Kevin, with anything, you can go to YouTube for it all now.
You go. There you go. But I can't. Okay, just
nothing.
How much does a flavorist make?
$35 an hour.
Good Lord. Oh, I'm out, yo. Nah, I mean, they deserve to get paid like that. Because, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Life is nothing without a little flavor. So, you know, they got a very responsible job.
I know that's right. That was, you know, speaking of flavors, the next job that I thought was interesting was master marijuana extractor.
Wait. The master extractor. Okay.
Master marijuana extractor. It's the master for me. Master was like, all right.
Okay, well, what's the difference between a master marijuana extractor and just a regular entry-level extractor? Like,
it says you're in a position where you process marijuana to produce edibles, oils, and concentrates. So you're basically taking weed and creating another form of weed.
Ah, okay. So you're a little higher up on the scale because, you know, you're not just picking it to smoke it. You're picking it to evolve it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it says you do not need a degree in this field. You can just learn how to do it.
I mean, that makes sense. Okay, how much do they get paid?
$85,000 a year.
Good Lord.
But then again, you know what? I know some street marijuana extractors and they making more than $100K. You know?
I was say it depends on which lane you're trying to go with this. You know what I'm saying?
That's just according to the national. And then my final and my favorite one is a toy maker makes $100,000 a year. That is appropriate. They need to pay these elves what, you know what I'm saying, they deserve.
Nah, the elves need to get theirs. But let me just ask you out of curiosity. I mean, which kind of toys are we talking about here?
It just said toys. It just said toys. But you know what? You know
what I'm saying? Because I feel like the person who's making the Power Rangers should get a different pay. You know what I'm saying?
Who do you think should be getting paid more?
I mean, shit. Nah, the person making the rabbit definitely needs to get paid more because, you know what I'm saying? They helping.
It's more in high demand.
It's more in high demand, but honestly, they're keeping a lot of, you know, women sane, a lot of relationships going. They need to get theirs. Pay the rabbit people.
Yeah, I hope the rabbit people are millionaires. But you know who I really hope is like a billionaire now? The person who made the rose. But anyways, okay. You know what the rose is? You know what the rose is?
You know, I'm gonna have to Google that rose.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. After the ladies, if you know what the rose is, just put a rose in the comments. Just put it in there now.
Put the rose in.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I will say this though. You know, actually, and I discovered this recently though, but the adult toy industry is a booming industry though. And, you know, now with new technology like AR and VR and Bluetooth, there's a lot more expansion that you could do with adult toys at further distances. But we'll leave that there. So
you know what though?
Pay the toy people.
you bring up a good point, because now people can get really creative with them toys, right? So what would you consider that?
Not, you know, and
Creative career.
that's a creative career right there. Because you know what's crazy? There was one that I saw that you can actually do it at like a distance. Say you're in a long distance relationship, and you know, I don't know what kind of content you talk about here on your show, but so what happens is, so there's two pieces of this toy. One part goes to the lady, you know what I'm saying, and then the other part goes to the other partner. What happens is, you know, they put this inside their drawers, and then the other person has a Bluetooth remote, you know, and you know,
I
and
saw Meek Mill talking about that this week.
you know, they want to send the vibes, you know what I'm saying? You do like a little, you know. And I was like, I thought that was creative, how, you know what I'm saying, you know, distant lovers could get theirs on too. So yeah, I mean, shout out to all the creative careers out there.
So that's what we're going to talk about next. I want us to get into the word on the street with the creative careers, because you are a full-time creative career person, completely on your own. You do your own thing. You have been forever. So my question is, when did you first know that you were creative?
When did I first know I was a creative? It's interesting. So, all right, a little background about myself for those of you that don't know. My name is Kevin Talbot, aka Mr. Shot by Smooth. I'm the founder of Talbot Media, and I've been working in the media production space for over a decade now, going on 12 years. And creativity and like storytelling and creative outlets have always been something that I've been involved in since I was a kid. Like even though I played sports, you know, I played, you know, in the band, you know, I was involved in the community. I did all these different things, but I always enjoyed creative stuff like writing, storytelling. I never really knew that it was something I was genuinely good at or it was a skill of mine, you know, until I started to get much older. I say probably sometime in my like teenage years, maybe my young adult years, when like I was that one friend that if we go out and we have a good time and there's a memorable story, they always like, yo, Kev, remember that night? Yo, tell that story. I'm like, yo, I told that story already. And they're like, nah, but we like how you tell the story though. And then so I actually, you know, at first it was like, oh, you know, you kind of just think about it like, all right, you just mess around. But then I really started to realize that I really might have a gift with my storytelling, you know, and then from there, that's actually when I made the conscious switch, like when I was in undergrad, to say like, you know what, maybe let me explore this more as a career. So I would say like probably sometime around then, like when I was in college, like it was something that was always kind of like in me, but just being a kid from the Bronx, you never really saw too many people pursuing creative careers. So I would say my recollection or recognition, I should say, of being a creative was, I would say around that teenage, like young adult age, right before college.
Yeah, that's crazy that you say that. I thought you were going to say way earlier, because by college, you were already so advanced in it. Like for me, I have a funny story. So my first grade, I knew, because when I was gonna ask you that tonight, I'm like, when did I know? I knew in the first grade I won a citywide Dr. Seuss poetry competition. And then it's like, you know, I feel like being in school, they tell you, you know, you get labels in school like talkative and whatever, but then they also tell you when you do work, you get feedback. Like if you're good at math, you find out. I've always been good at English, and I've always been told I was creative. You know, so it's like when you have that drilled into you, it's like, okay, I guess I am.
Right. And it's funny you said that actually. So now talking about it, so going back to this, times I can actually remember in elementary school that I think I got recognition for my creativity. I remember in second grade, there was a Halloween story writing contest, and I actually remember winning that one. And then I would say in the seventh grade, I don't know if you know what the school system is like, you know, where you're from, but in New York, we started learning about like language arts around like the sixth grade, seventh grade. So
yeah,
like the vocab books where like every week you get like 10 words or something. And so I remember the assignments would be different writing assignments, and the teacher would be like, okay, this week you have to use 7 words out of the 20, or you have to use 10 words out of the 20. All right, extra points if you use all 20 words. And I never forget, there was a young lady who I liked at the time. And I remember one week I wrote her a poem as the writing exercise. And I actually used all 20 words and used them correctly for a seventh grader. And I never forget my seventh grade teacher, like she pulled me out the classroom. She took me outside. She was like, oh my God, Kevin, like I thought I was about to get in trouble because I was that kid. I was incredibly smart, first honor roll student all the time, but I had a little issue with self-control and, cracking jokes. I thought,
Wait. Oh, I was about to say, what were you in there
like,
doing?
damn, what did I do now? And she was just like, yo, that poem you wrote was so beautiful. Like, wow, like, I can't even believe that. Like, if you use all the words correctly, like, and she hung it up outside in the hallway. And I was like, damn, like, all right, I was just writing this for old girl at recess, but okay. I'm like, God.
Yo, that's crazy. See, and it's crazy. You didn't even think that far back at first, but now realizing like you've always been creative. Like some people are just creative, and I feel like people need to, So tell us more about like what inspired you to just be like, this is what I'm going to pursue full time. Because we went to college, and a lot of our parents, like our generation, is just our generation in general. It's like go get a job, go work a 9 to 5, go get a college degree. Like, what made you say like, fuck the mold, like? And just leave the workforce and go full time you?
Yeah, now that's a great question, and since we like kind of talking about this like young formative era, I want to say that one, creativity, people don't realize it. Like they think just because you may not do something creative, like make videos or do something, that you can still be creative, because like creativity is really like, one, it's either doing or creating something new or doing something that's already been done in a new way. So to anybody who's watching, it's just like, just don't think that you have to do something in this field to be creative. You're creative. If you reinvented the mold on how your family did something, you're creative. So now going back to the question.
Look at Soulja Boy.
Soulja Boy.
Most creative person in the fucking world. Most creative person in the fucking world. He started everything.
Y'all better put Big Soulja.
You fucking better on Big Soulja. Big Draco.
Apple without him.
Yo. They said Thomas Edison walked in that room and was pissed because Soulja Boy was already in there discovering the light. I fucking died.
In there. I love it, yo. But yeah, and I would say for me, I always had like an entrepreneurial bug. Like I was always just a kid who always just tried to do my own thing. I never forget this. I was joking. I tell people my first business was when I was in the 8th grade. I never forget, my mother had bought this, and I'm dating myself here a little bit. My mother had bought a CD burner, and we put the CD burner in our Windows 95, PC from Dell. And she honestly just got it so she could just make like gospel CDs or whatever. And me, I don't know how this idea came in my head. I don't know if it was something I just did for myself, and then it just, somebody else asked me to do it for them, and then it trickled into a business, or I just said I'm gonna do this. But I don't know how I got it in my brain to start making bootleg CDs. And
no, you didn't.
I was there burning the CD.
You had to pop, lock, and drop episode 5 and shit dropping.
Yo, I had it. I had the album covers printed, using my mother's ink, all of that, and I would be going selling the CDs, like sliding through the textbook.
Oh shit!
I had my friend.
The plug for real.
Real. I had my friends. Mom was like, "Oh, you think that kid on your basketball team can make me one of them albums?" And now they in the playlist. So from there, I kind of knew. Like I didn't know it was like a thing. But like looking back and knowing, I was just always somebody who I never really tried to break the mold, but I just kind of followed my own lane. And then, secretly as I grew up and I was going through school, I always knew that I wanted to do something that really impacted people in the world. For me, my mind was just kind of like, okay, well, if I'm a kid from the Bronx, I don't know how I could get to impact somebody, in Asia or Europe. The only way is I got to do something in media. So I knew that I always wanted to work in media. I just didn't know to the extent. But the other side of it too was, I grew up listening to music from guys like Jay-Z, guys like Diddy, Nas. So it's funny because now we all recognize them as their GOAT status, but I grew up listening to, to them talk and tell stories about forging their own lane and doing their own thing. So I think it was just kind of instinctively in me. And then, and then I have friends who always joke, they're like, yo, you gotta remind me of Diddy. Like, and then I don't know, I think I kind of to take that in, where it's like, look, I have this ability to lead people, and I can't, not to knock a job or anything, but I need to be able to work in an arena where I have the control, where I really say, okay, this is how things go, or I get to choose the people I impact. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I was like, I got to go through the job force first, at least get my game up. But when I graduated, it took me like 6 or 7 months to actually find a job. Once I found that first job, then I got laid off in 3 months. Second job I found, got laid off again. So it was just going through all of these experiences and realizing that no matter what, if you worked for somebody else, they always had control over you. You know, whether or not you
Yeah.
got schedule or whatever, you know, they control what time you know, you going to work. They controlling, you know, they control your time. They control your money. And I just didn't want to be in a position like that for the rest of my life. So I always say, you know what, I got to take a shot and do something where I could be.
Our waste her time is trying to trickle on in. We got to get into the waste her time, but that's a great story. That was a great story. That was very inspirational because you know I'm trying to leave my work, my 9 to 5, and just do this full time. I've already kind of started it, so you know hearing stuff like that is always like super encouraging for me. I hope anybody listening, let us know in the comments if you think about making that jump. Just do it. Just go for it. You only live once. We're not here forever.
That's a fact. And the one thing I will say is, you know, if you in a situation like yours is, you know, you actually kind of have somewhat of a benefit because you're working and you actually have capital. Like you get a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? For me, it had gotten to a point where I wasn't smart about it. I was doing stuff outside of the jobs that I had, but they didn't get to this point where they were sustainable. So when I officially started my business, I was kind of like I was starting from scratch. So that's the one thing I would tell people is if you got a job, like, you know, be thankful for your job, grind it out, but you got to be 1,001% productive with the time you do outside of your job.
Yeah. Yep. You gotta use the time wisely. Shout out to COVID, gave me some extra time. Everybody got a little. If you ain't get nothing else, if you ain't get none of that money, you got a little extra time. Okay. So I hope if you was a creative and you use the COVID time to, and if you didn't, that's okay too. Because some people just was scared in the house or just anxious and couldn't do nothing. That's okay, but time to get started. So let us go into waste our time because you know this is a favorite segment of mine. I got my boy Trav here with me. Trav got a lot to say about women wasting his time, so I'm gonna let him vent and Kev gonna give him, you know, Kev begin his time wasted, I begin my time wasted, so we gonna listen to you, Trav. Come join us. Trav.
All right. I thought she had me on mute. My bad. I thought she had me on mute. What's going on?
What's going on? What's
up, Trav?
Trav is just fresh off the boat from Jamaica. He just came fresh from vacation.
Yes,
was
sir.
them Jamaican women wasting your time out there?
I mean, not really. You know, it was a good time out there. It wasn't nothing like that. You know, I went with family and friends and cousins and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. It wasn't that type of time.
Wasn't gonna waste my time bringing somebody out there. You feel me?
Right. Tell us about a time.
You can't bring sand to the beach.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't that type of party. But tell us about a time where you had your time wasted.
I had my time wasted.
Or just in general, how you feel like women be wasting people's time. Because I feel like I see you post on Facebook a lot, and a lot of your statuses are very general. It's like, women do this. And it's just like, Trav, shut the fuck up. Not all women do that. But, you know, I know that's how men feel when they see us say stuff like that. So I just let it rock.
I mean, for the most part, they do. I mean, women all do the same thing. I want to say that. And I completely believe that from the bottom of my heart. Y'all all move the same way. Like there's nothing different. I swear there's nothing different about y'all. Like it's just
this motherfucker dated the whole world.
Huh? I'm just telling the truth. Like me personally, I've seen a lot of things, like, you know, relationship wise, girls talking to men wise. And it all ends up the same way, you know, like girls waste their time, they waste men's time. That's just how they are, you know.
But what's an example? Give us an example of how like women waste men's time.
All right, I give you an example. Okay. Girls like to play the I didn't know card. You know that card where they're just all of a sudden, now, you know, Katie, like, listen, girls, when they start talking to a guy, the first thing they do is do all the research they possibly can. The Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, everything. You asking your friends, you asking your best friend, you asking everything because you're trying to find out about that one guy that you like. And then, you know, it comes down to that point where, you know, let's say you and that guy is talking, and then you act like you just found out about the other three bitches he was talking. Oh, excuse my language. The other three women that you knew he was talking to, but you just want to, you know what I'm saying? You just wanted it to be a competition. I feel like women make everything a competition, and they need to understand that some guys like myself don't like that. You know.
So you don't want her to compete with the other 4 bitches?
No, there shouldn't be no other 4. I mean, unless that's what you're
like
into.
Girls will choose guys like that, then complain and be like, you know, like you knew he had
Exactly.
all these bitches and now you mad.
Exactly. You can't sit here and, you know, expect somebody to feel bad about you when you put yourself in that situation.
Well, women like to we want to change somebody. We want to be like, you know, because especially in rap music, they glorify like that woman that made them change and like she took me out the streets. I feel like every woman wants to be that girl for these dudes.
I mean, are y'all dating?
Not me though.
But
I want you to
think about it. Are y'all dating rappers or y'all dating real men? like people with regular jobs, like, you know what I'm saying? These people that are doing this are not rappers.
These 9-to-5 dudes be hoes too. They be going to a different bitch every night. Do not let them fool you.
Point here, because you know what? You know, I had to tell somebody the other day. I was like, look, this Megan Thee Stallion shit you be listening to talking about, you know what I'm saying? I can't hit it unless I'm paying the rent, paying the bills. I'm like, Sweetie's talking to Quavo. That nigga got millions, right?
Right.
I'm over here for this stimulus check right now. I'm not paying your bills and my bills.
Right. Exactly.
Time. That's the time waster right there. You wasted your time.
Exactly.
You need to know how to sift them out. The other way y'all be wasting your time, you just said it, is y'all be trying to change men. Y'all can't change us. We change when we ready to change. We're not trying to be stubborn, but that's just how it is. That's the laws of nature.
Exactly.
Like, when a man is ready to change and be committed and do what he got to do, he's gonna do that. Exactly. And the problem is y'all think that we dogs, like real dogs that need training, and y'all be trying to change us, and that's why y'all be wasting y'all time.
Exactly.
I feel you. I'm telling you, I had a man tell me on the first date that he had 12 bitches in hookah highs the week before, and I still continue to talk to him. Woo! And when it didn't go right, I was like, I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, "Bitch, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself." And I walked out, and that was that.
You saw all
that was that.
You can't.
She went 6 Flags. That shit was 6 Flags, all right. That was 12 flags.
You can't. Like, you just can't. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself. But girls,
nobody.
They like to waste everybody's times, bro. I feel like girls got a type now, and their type is the same type of nigga, you know? So
that's not my type. That's not my type.
You just said it was.
Shut up. That was a flag on the play. That was a wrong move.
Come on, Katie. Like, come on. Come on.
Anyways, that's not, first of all, the person I'm currently dating don't have that type of energy. Thank you. Second of all, thank you guys for coming on today. We got to wrap up because my girl Queenie trying to come on, you know, so we got to wrap this up. But I thank you both gentlemen, for joining me. I want you guys to plug everything you guys have going on because both of you have so much going on. You guys are very entrepreneurial, is that a word? Men that I know, and you guys get to it. So tell everybody what you got going on, where these ladies can find you.
Set it off.
You want me to go first? All right. Well, yeah, you know, I was DJing at Hookah Highs. You can always find me at Hookah Highs on Thursdays. Top Shelf Fridays, Saga Sundays, Springfield, Massachusetts. My Instagram handle is TravNew_, and Facebook Travis Newman. You can find me on there. You know.
And nickname Trav the New Man.
Nickname Trav your new man. It all just goes so well together, you know. But yeah.
I like that.
Thank you, Trav. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And for everybody, I mean, if y'all want to stay in contact with me, y'all could follow me on all social media platforms at Shot by Smooth. That's common spelling, SHOTBYSMOOTH. I gotta clarify that because they be like, "Oh, Smooth with the V." I'm like, no. I'm college educated. I know how to spell. So follow me on all platforms.
Kevin, please.
Yeah, and honestly, stay up to date with me, man. You know, literally, like, I'm a content creator here. I'm actually in the process of launching a new little something. I'm gonna keep that on the wraps until it's official. Other than that, I'm actually starting a new filmmaking program. I'm teaching some students here in the middle school kids here in New York City some stuff about filmmaking and photography. And I got a lot of other dope projects in the works too with a couple big brands. So stay up to date. And any way that I can help anybody or give y'all any feedback, tips, or gems, or plug y'all in, Y'all holla at me.
Amen. And thank you guys for joining me. And make sure, first of all, y'all cop my creative career, cop that 4 seasons on Amazon. Thank you guys for tuning in with What's the Word. See you guys next week for episode 10.
Can I talk to you? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really love my job? Because if you have, let me let you in on something. You're not the only one. Here are a few signs that you might not love your job. You dread going to work. You complain about the pay. The excitement for the job is left, and you find yourself sitting at brunch on Sunday with your mimosa, tapping your feet singing the Monday blues. Boom! It may be time for you to move on to something else, whether it be starting a business, finding a rich husband, or finding another job. Whatever it may be, make sure you're making yourself happy and getting those bills paid. And keep rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Y'all be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more advice and tips. See y'all later.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Today we're going to talk about the importance of establishing an emergency fund. Now look, I know and I understand that sometimes there's just too much month and not enough money and we can't really establish an emergency fund, but statistically, 8 out of 10 adults do not have enough money to cover a $500 emergency saved up in a savings account. Now, how do we establish an emergency fund? First, we have to understand what our purpose is and why we're establishing this fund. Why should we establish an emergency fund? Because God forbid, if I have a $900 emergency come up, I don't want to have to go to the bank to take out a $900 loan. I don't want to have to go swipe a credit card for another $900 to put myself further in debt. I need to have an emergency fund established of 3 months to 6 months, okay? That will, if I lose my job, if something comes up, I have at least 3 months to 6 months of income. Ideally, if we could get 9 to 12 months saved up in an emergency fund, then you know come hell or high water that financially you will be okay if something establishes, if something comes up. Now, the purpose of it is that when an emergency comes up, my fund is already established. Guess what? It's no longer an emergency. We've already planned for this. And when we plan for things, we can execute the plan. We don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. So understanding that, putting together a plan, having a fully funded emergency fund, and if you're just starting out, start with $1,000 and then build on it from there. So, this is Marcus Whitfield, and remember, knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is power.
What got
Hi guys, this is Queenie, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Queenie Unfiltered, where you are sure to be read for filth. However, I promise you will come out clean and pristine. We keep it real, we are honest with ourselves, and most importantly, we practice being beautifully balanced inside and out. Tonight, I have two very special guests who agreed to speak on their experiences as a bull and a cuckold. For those unfamiliar, a cuckold is a man who willingly encourages his partner to sleep with other people because it brings him pleasure. Now, it's important to note that there are two types of cucks. There's an alpha cuck that has total control over who his partner sleeps with, and there's the masochistic cuck who enjoys being humiliated, degraded, and other demeaning activities. Tonight, we'll be speaking with the latter. But before we get into any of that, I have something that I would like to address. Obviously, I am wearing a bonnet in protest. Recently, Black women have come under fire on social media for presenting ourselves to the public in hair bonnets. Let me go on the record saying that I advocate for and show up for all Black women to present themselves however the fuck they please. Whether you take the time to prep and prime yourselves to be runway ready, or whether you just barely found the time to throw on disheveled jammies before you have to run out the door to save the world, as we all tend to do, being everything for everyone all the time is exhausting. Black women, we owe it to no one to be presentable, beautified, put together, and least of all respectable or palatable to the white gaze. Black women literally save the world on a daily basis, and we deserve to be comfortable. To the countless Black women who took it upon themselves to photograph other Black women, put it on the internet, even go as far as to make private groups shaming the Black women who don't give a fuck about your pick-a-misha ass opinions on our headwear, shame on you. To Monique and the other politricking ass aunties who came of age before internet infamy and going viral was a thing, who fought tooth and nail for their own right to exist as the bold, free-spirited, loud, and dare I say, ghetto fabulous, not in the least fucking bit respectable by the same whitewashed ass standards they are now trying to hold younger Black women to. Shame on you. It's perfectly fine to state that something isn't your preference without berating someone else in the process. It's not tough love, it's bitterness. Because Black women dare to exist in a space without limitations, self-imposed or otherwise, after you've had to be broken down and built up into a fabrication of what everyone around you thinks respectability looks like, when in all actuality, it's never been about what the fuck we have on, but rather who we are and the influence we have. Now, I won't continue to address the foolishness because it's honestly upsetting to my spirit, but I will end with this. Stop policing Black women, Black bodies, and Black expression, because now you in my business. Don't do that. So, without further ado, I would like to go ahead and introduce our guests. We have Mr. Ryan and Mr. Austin on the line, okay? Ryan is a bull, and Austin alternates between being a bull and a cuck. Now, Ryan, I'm going to start with you first. Can you break down to me what is a bull?
Well, I'll see if I can do that. I'm actually a part-time. I'm actually a part-timer when it comes to it. I've been in the lifestyle probably 5 years now altogether. The ethically non-monogamous lifestyle.
When we talk about lifestyle, we're talking about
ethically
lifestyle of kink, right?
Exactly, ethically non-monogamous kink lifestyle. I've been into it for roughly 5 years now, so I'm still exploring, or as they say, evolving. I do occasionally do bull activities, so I'll go to, I have a friend who'll call me up when he has partners, and he says, hey, a lady friend, she'd like to try a male, female, male, or a threesome or something. So he'll call me up, and I'll say, okay, well, what's her name? What does she like to drink? What is she into? In terms of
you be courting bitches. You be whining and dying. You be bringing alcohol and shit.
I mean, yeah, I've always, well, I enjoy hosting, but I've never been a fan of those guys who show up to these things empty-handed. They don't have no drink. They ain't got no condoms. They don't have nothing. They show up with ashy ass crack.
He on condoms too. They ain't let me know when you in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll let y'all know for real. But yeah, I'm into setting the mood and the vibe. I really enjoy that. I think that's a part of the whole night. I think it adds. I just feel like it adds quality to the overall night. You flirt, you entertain the mind, you entertain the spirit, you laugh, and then you entertain the body.
Okay. All right. And Austin, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you are
I'm
Campbell.
yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your experience as a cook. I think that it's more common than what people like to let on. I think that more men are into it than what they would like to let on. But I think it's not widely talked about publicly as a kink.
Yeah.
So could you tell me like your role as a cook? How did you find out you were a cook, or like your first experience?
My first experience started with my current partner. It started off pretty much just being long distance, and she would like tell me about the people that she would sleep with, male or female, and so I would take a good interest in what her escapades were. That's pretty much what really like led me to this. I think it's very exciting, and it's fun to see what she wants to do with her body and her autonomy. I think that's really where I get the joy out of it.
Okay, to the male feminist. I love it. I love my little whole heart is just fluttering. Oh my god. All right. So
Can I ask Austin a question?
Yes.
Please.
Austin, have you ever experienced jealousy, either in the beginning, or at some point in the past, or currently? Have you ever experienced it at all?
I have experienced a little bit of jealousy, but I think it's kind of healthy, because it's like at the end of the day, it's my partner's body, and so I'm like, okay, have fun.
That's right. And how do you manage it?
Mostly just like talking about like her experience. Like we'll see like what was fun, what wasn't, what was like highlights, what was things you might want to try with me, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally feel you. I remember the first time I did a couple swap with a casual partner. I was going down on her, and then the next guy started playing with her breast. I felt jealousy shoot through my body. I mean, hard. But you know what? I got up, I hit the blunt, and I thought to myself, Ryan, what are we here for? And then it was all good. No one knew. It was just me. It was all internal, and that was it. No one knew. And then I just had to manage it that way. And also, it's like, along the lines of what you were saying, Austin, it's like, your partner, you should be happy for your partner's pleasure. And there are other people who can give your partner some things that you may not be able to, and vice versa. And we should be okay with that. And, there's always going to be a little bit of jealousy, but we just have to manage it from time to time and really reframe it and really solidify our relationship with our partners. I think that really helps it.
I would say I've never been in a position where there was like a bull cuck dynamic going on. I have had male, female, male threesomes where I was the center of attention. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I felt like both men were there to center my pleasure. I think as a Black female that predominantly fucks males most of the time, like 97% of the time, I think that our pleasure and our orgasm can sometimes be like ignored in those very vanilla, very monogamous, very type of situations. I feel like a lot of times, men kind of center themselves when it comes to sexual pleasure. And so part of the reason why I like those male, female, male group sexual activities is because I know that they're here for me and that I'm going to get everything I need. So thank you for recognizing that you are a vital part to this woman's orgasm.
That's right.
That you are there to please, and that no feelings, no feelings, because you getting yours, let her get hers.
It's just a good time, Some of the best experiences I've had with some of these things were where the men were incredibly cooperative. It's like, all right, brother, oh, you good? You good to go? All right, no, you good? All right, cool. You putting on? All right, when you ready to go, you let me know. All right, cool. Right. And I'll tap out, and
let me go roll the weed while y'all do that.
Yeah. It's just been completely cooperative. It's been amazing. Those are the most amazing experiences,
So this question is for both of you because from the outside looking in, for people that are, that don't really explore their sexuality, not really open to non-monogamous or non-vanilla sexual practices, they might question your sexuality because you're having group sex in a setting with another man present. How would you respond to that?
I'll go unless Austin wants to jump in first. Okay.
He's thinking about that question. He's like,
I am. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's unfortunate that I feel like we've all been taught that there's one type of relationship dynamic growing up, and that's monogamy, one man, one woman. When in fact, we're all human beings. We're on the full spectrum between sexuality, between which genders we like and the type of relationship dynamic we like with them. But I think that's number one. Understanding that there are different relationship dynamics out there is the first step to help normalize it. And yeah, you can be in a room with other guys and it's completely fine. I mean, there are things I didn't even. I mean, yeah. Oh man. I mean, like I remember the first time I did double vaginal. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, this feels good. Guess I'm gay now.
I'm sorry.
and but that was my thinking. That was my thinking the first time. Yes. Felt great. But that's what my initial thought was because I was new at it, But you just your mind opens and it's not a gay thing, Like you guys are pleasing the woman and you guys are just happen to be there together. It's just a whole other level of intimacy, I think, with everyone, And you really have to be comfortable with yourself to really do it. And guys ask me, how do you do this? How do you do this type of thing? I'm like, listen, you have to be comfortable with not necessarily being the biggest dick in the room, not being the MVP. You have to be comfortable with all these factors. If you think you're going to come in and be G.I. Joe, the man of the hour every time, you're wrong, Right. You're going to have your spirit broken sometimes,
No man did go come through slanging and slap your
That's right.
with his meat like.
That's right.
I'm stop clowning. Austin. So how would you respond in that situation if someone's like, really questioning your sexuality, questioning, who you are as a man because,
for me at the end of
your old lady.
For me at the end of the day, it's like I now have to be comfortable with who I am and then like share that with who I feel comfortable with at the end of the day. Personally, I feel like there is a lot of enjoyment that I feel from like seeing my girl get fucked by someone else and just like taking that in as like another side of something else. Same way where I enjoy like fucking like other people's partners is, in my opinion, some of the most fun I've had because I get to see just like the broad spectrum of just like human, just everything. It's just beautiful. So really just like normalizing it, I feel like just has to be like through discussion or just like being open to it. Because if you don't come at it openly, then you just won't be able to get anything out of it.
I respect it. There's absolutely no judgment here. I think I dated a guy that was a cuck. I didn't realize that he was a cuck. He started like encouraging me to sleep with other men. And then I think one time he asked me to like if he could like eat another guy's cum out of me, and I was like, wait, hold up. First time for everything. Where did this come from? Like he was a little vacuum. He was a little quicker picker upper. But yeah, like I didn't realize it at that time. It was a few years ago. I didn't realize at that time that like that was the dynamic, that that's what he was asking. I wasn't against it. As a Black woman, I've just been conditioned that Black men don't like to share. And I thought like it was a setup, you know, or somehow if they are sharing with you, then they're not respecting you, and you know, things like that. So I didn't really know how to approach it at that time. Now you ask me today, you're gonna get a mouthful. But at that particular moment in time, like I couldn't put a name on it. I couldn't put a title to it. So I think that it's interesting. I think there's a very interesting dynamic. I can't say that I would be for or against it, you know, because I guess it's one of those cross those bridges when we get to it. Like if my partner ever told me, hey, you know, like I want to watch you fuck somebody else, I probably would be down. I ain't gonna lie. I probably would be down like that. But also, I'm an Aries, and shit like that goes to my head, like tremendously. But you know, I really thank you all for your input. I thank you guys for participating. It's been awesome and amazing. Did you have anything that you wanted to leave with me and my viewers?
Oh wow, I wasn't prepared for that question. I mean, I think we pretty much said it all. If I'm going to say anything, it'd be something I said earlier already.
What advice would you give someone that would be interested in joining this lifestyle?
Oh, okay. Well, like I said earlier, you know, I mean, it depends. If you come into it with a partner, then you guys need to have an open and honest dialogue about what your expectations are, what your boundaries are, you know, how far you're willing to go together if you're coming with a partner. If you're by yourself, man, that's, damn, if you're by yourself. And the same thing too, you just got to make sure you're comfortable with not being the biggest dick in the room, not being the MVP of the thing. You have to make sure you're comfortable with these sorts of things. You know, there's no space for ego. There's no room for it.
I have a question. Do you have a partner, Ryan?
Yes, I do. I have several partners.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, man. You know,
I'm open to non-monogamy, but I'm not really though. Like I am. Like I'm with the shit, but then I'd be like, no, bitch, you kind of crazy. Like,
but like, no, that's mine. You talking
yeah,
about?
like my
You get possessive.
Yeah. So okay, well, you know, you shoot. You miss every shot you don't take.
But it's all good though. You know, it's all good though. I'll let you know when I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah, you know, just yeah. Let me know. Yeah. How tall are you? Hold up.
6'5", 270.
What's your sign?
Scorpio.
That's that flued out dick. Okay.
Austin, what's your stats?
Let me stop. I'm getting up off of here because my mom will be watching this shit. She probably gonna text me in a few minutes like, you better fuck that. You better.
She gonna pull your
side. I will.
She be like, let me get his email address.
Austin, do you have any parting words?
Mostly just like have an open mind, be willing to accept like new things and new experiences. Because I'm personally like new to like these experiences, and I'm really enjoying myself. I also was gonna say my stats. I'm 6'2", 265.
Now y'all haven't seen Austin in real life. I've seen Austin in real life. That's a train I would definitely ride. But I haven't, out of respect for his girl, but if she ever slide down with my way, we can run a train on him. So
You can run the train.
He
Get the monthly pass.
Puff, puff, puff. Right. Let's the homies get some.
So how do you guys find your events that you go to?
I haven't really been to many events. Mostly just like going out to bars and just like watching her flirt with most people, or like being like long distance. Like I've seen like some of the videos that her and her ex are taking. Just like that's been mostly the fun that I've had.
That's hot.
Y'all be cruising.
For most of the like bull stuff that I do is like friends, girlfriends, just be smashing.
Hold on. So Austin, your old lady just texted me that she would also like to know when Ryan is in New Orleans.
I'm down for that.
Listen, y'all, because we can go on.
What kind of show is this?
No. Time out. We gotta get it right here, right now. Listen, we can. I would love to have y'all back on as guests for another fucking episode, definitely. But we about to cut this shit right now, cause let's do it. I'm going to thank you all. Thank you both for joining me this evening. It has been awesome and amazing. You are two beautiful men. Whew, two very beautiful men. And I'm gonna. Is she? I'm not about to play with y'all. I'm just not gonna do it. Good night, fellas. I am about to. I'm about to do my Wednesday read. She said what she said. Right. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, send some pictures my way.
But I'm about to do my Wednesday read. My Wednesday read. My energy read. This episode was brought to y'all by Waist Love, Waist Beads, right? At Waist Love, WAISTLOVE. That's who I get all of my little waist beads from. Now, those waist beads are really authentic, and they are from Ghana and the Ivory Coast. Okay, so they are handmade African waist beads. And I got my little Africa ring. Check my shit from Waist Love as well. So go follow her and order y'all body adornment. She still see. I'm about to do this with y'all. I didn't hook some Negroes up this evening. I done some shit. Let me do this read. So we can go. Boom. This energetic read. This shit about to be freaky. Nah, I'm playing. Oh shit. All right, we got the King of Swords. We have the King of Swords. We also have the Eight of Cups. Right? The Eight of Cups, and we have the Fool in reverse. Now I realize that Mercury is in retrograde right now, right? Mercury is in retrograde. Maybe that's where all this miscommunication regarding Black women in bonnets and not minding the business that motherfucking page you come from, right? Maybe that's where all this confusion is coming in at. The King of Swords and the Eight of Cups just reminds us to keep on keeping on. We can't worry about the shit we think we missing, right? We gotta worry about what's right there in front of us. Okay? And if what's right there in front of us is not enough, step out on blind faith. Step out on blind faith and just trust the process. Trust your purpose. Trust your destiny, right? Shit gets lost in communication. Shit gets lost when we start doubting ourselves. We start questioning ourselves when we feed into other people's bullshit ass hype about who the fuck we ain't, right? Things get lost in translation. We get a little down on ourselves, and we pick up this imposter syndrome. And if no one else tells you, let Queenie tell you, you are enough just the way you are. God saw fit for you to wake up today and bless this earth with your presence and learn your lessons and move people in ways that you don't even realize the impact you have on people. Okay? God saw fit for you to be here. Don't take that for granted. Do the work. And we're doing that work one day at a time. Okay? We didn't wake up and become this way overnight. So the person that we want to become, the changes that we want to make, is not going to come overnight. Okay, so get it out your mind that you just have to be this all knowing, all loving, all being, all doing person. You don't. Okay, step your ass out off that damn cliff, jump off the motherfucking porch, okay, and handle your business. All right. Tonight has been great. I'm going to see y'all next Wednesday. Same damn time, same damn place. I don't even know what the fuck we gonna be talking about yet. But we're gonna be up in this bitch. I'll holla.